Hi everyone, welcome to my presentation of the CHI 2024 paper, Older Adults Imagining Future Technologies in Participatory Design Workshops, Supporting Continuity in the Pursuit of Meaningful Activities. I'm Wei Zhao from the University of Melbourne in Australia. I'm presenting this paper on behalf of my co-authors Ryan Kelly, Melissa Rogerson, and Jenny Waycott. As people transition to older ages, their context of social engagement may change due to various reasons, such as retirement, empty nesting, and declines in physical and cognitive capabilities. Recent innovations in digital technology offer significant opportunities for promoting the well-being of older adults. Through technology, older adult spaces for meaningful engagement are not limited to the physical, but are open to wider digital environments where they can learn, grow, socialize, and engage in meaningful activities. In this research, we aim to examine how older adults perceive the use of existing and emerging technologies for supporting meaningful activities in later life, and imagine future technologies that can support these activities. To explore these aims, we chose to employ a participatory design method to involve older adults in the design process. The study includes 4 stages. The first workshop was an introductory session in which participants were asked to reflect on their perceptions of meaningful activities and the role of existing technologies in supporting these activities. Workshop 2 was a technology demonstration session. We introduced several emerging interactive technologies, such as VR, AR, and generative AI to the participants. We also had a group discussion on how these emerging technologies can be used to support meaningful activities in later life. In Workshop 3, participants worked in groups to develop design ideas to address some challenges we identified from the previous workshops. Participants engaged in a range of design activities, including brainstorming, prototyping, and storyboarding. After that, we conducted individual follow-up interviews with workshop participants to gather their additional thoughts on the research topic. Our participants were 16 older adults aged 67 to 84 and living independently in their homes. Data collected from the workshops and interviews were analyzed through a reflexive thematic analysis method. The themes were further interpreted through a lens of continuity theory. Continuity theory proposes that as people age, they tend to preserve and maintain existing psychological and social patterns by applying familiar knowledge, skills, and strategies. In the context of activities, continuity theory suggests that adults develop stable patterns of activity over time and take measures to maintain these patterns in adapting to aging. Through this theory, we identify several areas of continuity that older adults seek to maintain when envisioning future technologies. We started this study by exploring how technology could be designed to support or expand older adults' engagement in meaningful activities. Some participants' design ideas were consistent with our initial expectation. For example, one participant group designed a smart gardening app called See How Your Garden Grows. In this app, users can plan and customize their gardens, compare the pros and cons of different plants, and visualize how a plant grows over seasons. Another group designed a video conferencing system called Active Together through Zoom. It's based on the existing Zoom software, but it offers additional functions such as integrating AI as co-hosts of meetings. Through the system, users can engage in activities such as quiet singing and exercising. In the above examples, participants designed systems to support their current meaningful activities or improve existing systems. This suggests a need for sustaining continuity in existing patterns of meaningful activities and enhancing the experiences. Other designs, however, focused more on using technologies to enable safe aging at home. This was seen as an important precursor for pursuing meaningful activities in later life. For example, one group designed a smart cooktop system called Voice-Activated Gourmet Kitchen Appliance. Users can set cooking temperature and time through voice commands. The system automatically turns off after set time, and users have the option to reheat food in a shorter time. The design goal is to allow older adults to keep pursuing the activity of cooking without worrying about potential safety hazards. Another group designed a voice-based home control system called Voice-Activated Neotechnical Computerized Environment, or VANCE for short. The system allows users to control home utilities through voice commands. It can also be used to call family members and participate in online social activities. When asked about why they chose voice as the key feature of the system, one participant said, "I think probably a lot of it was thinking about where I might be if I'm still around in 20 years' time. At the moment, I'm still very physically active, but there are things that are starting to impact on that. What happens when my arthritis has progressed to the point where I can't use a keyboard or a phone? How do I continue to make sure that I'm able to maintain what I'm trying to do? For me, it's voice that's the obvious solution." These examples indicate participants' desire for continuity in the capacity to engage in meaningful activities and extend that continuity to the future. The integration of voice features in the systems shows that participants wanted to maintain the capacity to control things when experiencing age-related threats and challenges. In addition, one group designed a system called Stay Home and Safe, or SHAS for short. As shown in the picture, the system features a box-shaped control panel envisaged to be placed in the center of an older person's home. The buttons on the box can control different components of a home. When asked about the design intention, participants mentioned that the relief from potential safety hazards at home would help older people to remain independent, so they would stay longer in their homes without having to move into aged care facilities. The desire to remain at home demonstrates a need for continuity in the opportunity and autonomy to engage in meaningful activities as people age. In addition, we also identified participants' need for retaining continuity in technology competence. Participants in our study complained about the frequent updates of system and the inconsistency between different versions. They wanted old things to continue to work, so that they could maintain the knowledge and skills they had mastered before. However, the desire for continuity does not mean resistance to change. In the design workshops, our participants actively engaged in discussions about emerging technologies and envisioning future technologies. In our study, participants sought to retain continuity in their established skills and knowledge, while at the same time embracing new technologies that might benefit their lives. Drawing from these insights, our paper discusses several ways technologies could be designed to support continuity in older adults' engagement in meaningful activities. The first opportunity is to design technologies that provide diverse activity options for older adults. Video platforms such as YouTube and TikTok have shown their strengths, but how to meaningfully leverage other technologies to support this variety remains to be explored. The second possibility is to use technologies to replicate meaningful experiences to counter age-related decline. For example, VR could allow someone to relive a past interest or hobby. Future work can investigate how technologies like this can support a consistent sense of self as people age. The third design opportunity is supporting independence and autonomy at home. In addition to using sensor-based technologies to create a safe environment for aging in place, we see an opportunity for integrating social elements into these systems, such as adding communication functions to home Internet of Things systems. Finally, we see a need for maintaining consistency in digital interfaces to support older adults' continuity in technology competence. Future technology should avoid mandating major updates that change the interface significantly. In the published paper, we include more information about different interpretations of meaningful activities among the participants, their discerning attitudes towards different technologies, and their desired values and attributes in future technologies. If you're interested in these aspects, please read the full paper. Thank you.